So I am back. I moved. I have a very large closet that I'm working in. I set up my folding table and I went to Lowe's and bought a folding chair, and it's kind of quaint actually. Um, uh, God has really been in this moment. I can tell a lot's gonna happen during spring. It was a really dark period. Um, my whole life is up to this point is really just been potential this, potential that. And I was talking to Rebecca, who I work with in ministry. She's kind of my number two. And I was talking about how everything's potential. I was able to heal my dad's kidneys, and they're still doing good, which is great. When I saw him in, well, let me back up. So I had to move from where I was living in San Antonio. And so that was a lot, right? You have to get everything together. Luckily, my friend had a truck. So what took 6 trips in my other friend's SUV. Oh crap, I have to email him. Hang on. Okay, back. I had to have my friend pick some stuff up tomorrow, and I needed to remember to text him. So it was tough. I made the mistake of pushing myself too far. I wanted to go back to Japan with my friend and another friend, and I was going to fund it, but that meant working a lot. And I have a stamina for stress and just for psychological punishment. And my job isn't too emotionally strenuous, but I was working 50 hours a week and then trying to make sure I did content and then keeping up with the future wife thing. And because I'm working so hard, the demonic realm is kind of trying to punish me really hard. So I'm having to pray against that. And I have a couple other people I'm praying for. And it got bad, and I started to tell people I felt like I was starting to crack. And I'm half Mexican, half white, and so like part of my brain is very like group culture, work together, share the wealth, like be generous. And then the other part of myself, the American, is like get your projects done, move forward, like get these projects into motion so you can get paid and so you can move your ministry forward. And then I have heaven saying, hey, when you get these projects moving forward, they'll start making money, and then you won't need investors. And I didn't crash out. I didn't tumble and burn. But I worked myself to the point where everything felt normal, which is a weird thing to say. Because I'm a homeschool kid, so I come from a different world, a different culture. So I don't break down like other people. I've used this example before, but it was like chewing cheap gum. Like what is it? It's bubble tape, right? 6 feet of bubble gum, and it's a lot of bubble gum, but it's kind of cheaper and it chews and eventually just loses its chewiness and just becomes like this liquid in your mouth. And it was like that. Like I was just nothing. And at the same time, I was excited. I was like, finally, this demonic conflict that I've been struggling through my whole life is leaving. If I work, because I had some great overtime, and I was like, if I work these next 3 weeks, I'm going to be up like $4,000. If I save my vacation, it means when I go to see my parents, I'll only need to take 1 week off. So I'll come back and I won't lose any money. And then I'll be up like $4,000 and then $5,000. And this is going to be great. And then, I was like kind of operating at nothing. And then, whenever I sit down to work, there's always this pushback, this like, I don't know if it's training or demonic or what. Well, it's probably both actually. And so I sit down, I'm like, I got 12 hours in front of me, I'm going to be fine. And so I sat down, I just waited for the push, and the push started to happen. I started to waste time, which is fine because I kind of planned for it. As all of my mind has kind of come under like mental pressure points. But I was like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And then, so me and Rebecca pray every day that I don't stumble over pornography. And we had missed like one day, and then we prayed one day and missed one day, but I was feeling fine. I was like, I don't feel any tugs, I don't feel any pressure. But the demonic realm has gotten so crafty. And the next thing I knew, long story short, I started tripping over it again. And then like the binge happened, right? I didn't just trip over it for a day, I tripped over it for a week. And then there's the dreams that were going wrong, and then things going wrong, and because of my authority, things are going wrong. And you have to like get yourself to not fall into depression. So luckily Rebecca started texting me and like, hey, I haven't heard from you, which means you're probably binging. Let's get back into it. And during the whole time that I was tripping, I kept kind of like trying to pull on my mind and analyze why. Because we normally see it as like a lust problem. And so I started to make more progress. Okay, let's think about this. Let's pray about this. Rebecca and I started praying again, which brought everything down. And then I had to move, which luckily went well. And it's a lot cheaper. It's like almost nothing, which is amazing. It's closer to my job, which is amazing. And it's closer to a gym, which I believe is going to help future wife. I think future wife really is into abs. If what I'm seeing in my dreams is accurate, and remember, I'm, as much as many of my gifts work, a lot of them are still like haven't been unlocked fully. Like Jesus couldn't do all the miracles he did until the Holy Spirit landed on him and God outpoured his miraculous power without measure. So it's hard because, so I went and saw my parents. I moved, right? And then like that night, like we moved Saturday, we moved Sunday. I had to move one more trip Sunday, and God had me under high pressure. I was being matured and changed and grown and made to be a better cross bearer / move in the ministry that I'm working with God. And then my dad has been doing pretty poorly. So any prayers for my mom and dad did great. But his kidneys are at least healed. So I healed his kidneys, which is amazing, right? And then when I got there, his legs were swollen and they looked like they were peeling and they were purple. So I prayed for him every day, and the purple swelling went away, which was great. I didn't pray for my mom as much as I should have. It's a lot. And then I came back, and I still hadn't unpacked in my room. So my whole room was like, I was able to like throw some stuff. So there was a spot by my door that I could sit in, like real small, and like eat some food that I'd bought. Because I hadn't gone grocery shopping yet. And I was able to clear like a quarter of my bed so I could like curl up on the mattress and sleep. And the atmosphere was really good though, like really open, like just like there was this weird aura or atmosphere of just like sweetness, open-hearted sweetness. So I really loved that. and the apartment's kind of messy. It's like 4 dudes, but the price is great, and it's like in a cul-de-sac, which is nice. It has beautiful trees, so it feels kind of like being in a cabin. But make a new save file. I'm always worried about running out of memory and then it being like, boom, I have to start over. So I came back and I didn't feel like me yet. And I had a LAN party and it was great. So there's a bunch of us with computers and everything was fine. And I was praying with Becca and everything was fine. And I was in good headspace. And then I went to drive home and my car smelled like oil, like inside. And I was like, great. And then in those 2 days, I tripped up and I ended up tumbling over, pouring again for 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like 6 days, and then I kind of tapered out of it because it felt like Future Wife could feel what was happening. And then, as I've said before, sometimes videos come across my feed and they kind of highlight in my spirit, and I know, oh, that's for me. And this girl said, I'm home, and my husband says he's home, but he's not home because I'm home, and I don't see him. I think he's cheating on me, so we'll see. And I was like, well, that really sounds like it's for me. And so this whole time I'm still trying to work on why I trip over pornography the same way other people trip over addiction. And so I pray with Becca. I pray to God. I'm like, hey, like, let me know where I'm at so that way I can get a grip on things. Because if you're going to take everything away because I've sinned, I need to know what I still have. That way I can know what's solid ground and stand back up. And the message came back like, God knows you stumbled, but don't stop reaching out to God so he can prune your limbs, prune your branches. And I said, oh, okay. And that's when I made a really big breakthrough, because this whole time I'm praying, like, I'll have this idea to go watch porn and I'll say, hey, God, and I've learned something that helps addiction is not just praying to solve the addiction, but praying for a great quality, right? So not just getting rid of what's bad, but adding something that's good. And so I'd pray, let me be a good father. Let me be a good husband. Let me get along with my daughters. Let me exchange attention really well. Because my childhood was very intense. So I became a soldier before I became a boy. Well, I skipped becoming a boy. I became a soldier and then a man. So I have to now master being a boy. Because I skipped that phase. And so because I've had so much success just being right, for whatever reason, because I know the philosophy and because I work with God and because I have these gift of discernment, gift of knowledge, I come to the correct conclusion because I can sift through information the same way people can sift for gold. If you don't know how that works, you take this kind of bowl with a lot of like open holes in it and you shake it and all the sand goes through and little gold remains. So I start throwing away everything we've assumed to know about addiction. And I start really looking to the spirit realm and I go, okay, it's not like I have a preference to pornography. In fact, I don't have a problem with pornography at all. What I have a problem with are Satans. And Satan is an opposing spirit. It doesn't have to be a demon. In this case, it is a demon. But it's a spirit that specifically opposes you. And I remember something a pastor said once before. He said, I defeated this lawyer, but it took everything I know. And he was prophesying over me. And so I started praying, how do I defeat this lawyer? I have a problem with this lawyer. And so I started praying against these Satans, and then another message came across my feed. And you can see how far I work in this. It's already a long story. But this is what I do because I love y'all, and I believe the Bible has more to offer than what we just immediately read in it. That we can take this and find cures, and find special resources and technologies, spiritual technologies, that'll help us bring about the kingdom of heaven on earth. Basically, bring about a devout, epic civilization that is fundamentally supernatural in its making, and for every ounce of effort we put in, we get 4 ounces of effort back. So that's what I'm all about. So let me start one more file. So I get a video and it says, all the dishes are clean. There's 2 plates left to wash. And I thought, oh, okay, so some problems aren't about fixing or pulling roots out or kind of oiling the machine or repairing the machine, or polishing the machine. Sometimes it's just cleaning, and cleaning takes a profound effort over and over and over again. So when I, this last week, was tempted to go back to porn, I was like, this isn't a pornography problem that I have. It's a satanic problem disguised as a pornography problem. So I started working and praying against the demons, and I'd say, okay, instead of porn, God, let me be really good at sex with my wife. Let me be really good at being a good father to my children. Let me be a very good husband to my wife. Let me have good peace at home. Let me be really good at making these endeavors and projects. And so I just pray, let my wife be okay. Let my wife have good faith. Let my wife have good panache. And then I was like, a part of me said, this is never going to end. And I said, well, then let it never end, and let me never stop working against it. And then I felt one of the 2 like spirits of, I don't know if they were spirits of lust or acting as spirits of lust, peeled away. And suddenly, like, this genre of porn I was into just like a breath, it just breezed away. And I was like, whoa, that is phenomenal. And so I've been working on the last one these few days. And I'm also quick to make sure Rebecca and I pray every day, because that keeps that. People who've come away from homosexuality have said it was like a sexually curious spirit. It's that. It's like, you should be sexually curious. And I'm like, and we should pray against the Satan. And that's what's tricky, is you want to pray like, oh, let me have a clean mind and a clean heart and a clean da-da-da. And I was like, I have done all that. That is not the answer. And now when I pray against these satanic spirits, suddenly everything is becoming easier. And so once again, I have found a problem within the church that should have evolved and elevated to become a better, more profound, more perfect answer towards being the kind of perfect that God is. So anyways, it was scary. I wasn't sure if like future wife had like jumped ship. I got a few messages that she's still on board. I had a dream where she was like taking applications for like someone new, and then like it looked like the left arm of God kind of stopped her, put her down on a desk, and was like, hey, or said something, because then all of a sudden she was looking up. So I'm back. My head is on straight. I almost got this last like voice out of my head. Just demonic presence out of my head. I gotta use restroom. I'll be right back. So anyways, like last night I had a dream where, so I thought it was like 5 big Satans that were bothering me, but it turns out it was like 5 big Satans and all their little cronies. Because I had this dream where, underneath this box, so like this quiet part of my mind, all these like Pokeballs, black and white, these like white Pokeballs with like this spot of black, all started pouring out. And I was like, oh, okay, so this means I've caught all these evil spirits, and I've caught them all, and so now they're all kind of pouring out. So I'm in a great place now. When I was stumbling God kind of stops training you and he kind of like helps get you back up. And so some of the verses that came that seemed to be specifically for me from YouTube had to do with struggling. And one of them I knew very well: rejoice in endurance rejoice in suffering because suffering causes endurance, endurance causes character, and character causes like unending hope, like a light that will not be extinguished. And then someone else said, oh, you're going to be like a light to the world. Like, oh, that's really cool. I can get behind that because I don't feel that God's calling me to like do this thing or that thing. And I get pretty territorial when people try to tell me where God wants me to go. Because it's like, no, I don't feel driven to go that way, so I'm not going to go that way. Because I've been led wrong by the church a lot, which is fine. I'm not upset about that because I learned when the church sent me the wrong way. I learned what the right way is and what the wrong way is, so I can stop people going from the wrong way and I can point people to going towards the right way. And then another one was, God gives you struggles so that way, I don't remember the words, but basically like when you step into your calling or what you're going to do, you're very good at it. And so that made me feel really good because it was like, oh, okay, the goal isn't just that I try every time there's pressure, it's that I get good at struggling, which is a competency thing. I become competent or good at everything I have to struggle through. And so that wasn't bad. I started praying a lot for future wife, and then I got back a video about that I believe was for me, and it was this guy pours water into a cup and he gives the cup to someone and she goes, oh, it's just water. But when she drinks it, it's really sweet, good tasting juice. And when she puts the cup down, it's like red like juice. And I thought that's fantastic because that's what I'm trying to do. Because I pray for future wife because I get instincts about what she wants or what she's going through. So I try to cover her hard in prayer. And then I also got like, hey, make sure you work out an hour a day, which is what I'm planning on doing. And sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, because I think because I definitely have a desire for my wife to be sexually attractive, and I believe she does too. So I want to be responsible and start hitting the gym at least an hour a day. I usually go for like an hour and 20 back when I was going to the gym. So we'll see. Thunder or a movie or a car? I think that's a car. So yeah, luckily there's a gym close by. And we'll see. Eating healthy, quitting soda again, seeing what I can do for my weight. And just know it's time to get projects done. But I just wanted to say I'm back, give you guys an update. I'm not perfect, but if I was, I would be God, and I don't want to be God. So we're going to go back to the dream I had about wrangling cattle up on a high drop kind of cliff area. It doesn't take a lot to wrangle a cow one at a time, but I've got like 600 ideas. So let's see, 6 is like the number of man, and 10 is the number of effort, and 10 is the number of effort, so that's 600. So 10 times 10 is a great effort. but we've got three, we got 6 times 10 times 10, so there's an exponential quality. So the more projects I put out, the more exponential the income will be, and then I can do a lot of projects and bring wealth around the world, because that's my joy. My goal is to move wealth around and bring everyone's economy way up. I guess that's it. There's been a lot of videos on spring, and it seems like this is a time for projects and a time for happenings. I still have no idea for future wife. It'll be 2 years in the end of June. And that's kind of it. That's kind of all I got. At least I think that's it. I'm trying to make sure. Yeah, so that's just a catch up. Start making projects, put them up. I want to offer my services healing, even though I can only do muscles and diabetes. I've done hernias before, and I've done what's the other one? I did kidneys, so we'll see. But that'd be cool to one day a week meet up and be like, hey. Anyway, I love you guys. We're just catching up here, and I guess I'll get back to it.